Hey man, let's talk about something that destroys more relationships than cheating ever could. What you do when she starts pulling away. See, most guys, when they sense distance, they panic. They start doing all the wrong things, making moves that push her even further away. But what if I told you that her distance isn't always what you think it is? What if the way you react to it determines whether she comes back or disappears forever? Today we're breaking down the fatal mistakes that kill attraction the moment she starts acting cold. And listen, this isn't about playing games. This is about understanding female psychology, the real reasons women create distance, and how your reaction either makes you irresistible or completely repulsive. So buckle up, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly what never to do when she's pulling away, and more importantly, what to do instead. Let's dive in. The first deadly mistake, chasing her harder when she pulls back. This is the big one, the relationship killer that most guys fall into without even realizing it. She starts texting less, responding slower, maybe cancelling plans. And what do? You double down. You text more, you call more, you try to force connection. And here's the brutal truth. The harder you chase, the faster she runs. Think about it like this. If someone was constantly in your face demanding attention when you needed space, how would you feel? You'd want to get away even more. That's exactly what happens when you chase a woman who's being distant. She's not playing hard to get. She's testing you. She wants to see if you're secure enough to handle her space or if you're going to crumble the moment she's not giving you constant validation. And when you chase, you fail that test immediately. You show her that you can't handle uncertainty, that you need her validation to feel okay about yourself. And nothing kills attraction faster than neediness. So if she's being distant and your first instinct is to reach out more, stop. Don't send that text. Don't make that call. Because every time you chase, you're telling her you don't trust her to come back on her own. The second mistake that drives women absolutely crazy, asking what's wrong constantly. She's being quiet, maybe a little off, and you keep asking, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Like a broken record. Here's what you need to understand. Women don't always want to talk about what's bothering them. Sometimes they need to process internally, and when you keep pushing for answers, you're not being caring. You're being annoying. Think about how this looks from her perspective. She's dealing with something, maybe it's work stress, family drama, or just life. And instead of giving her space to figure it out, you're adding pressure by demanding explanations. And here's the thing that most guys miss. When a woman is ready to talk, she will. If she's not talking, it means she's not ready. And pushing her before she's ready will only make her shut down more. Sometimes her distance has nothing to do with you. But when you keep asking what's wrong, you make it about you. You make her emotional state your responsibility. And that's not attractive. That's exhausting. So next time she seems off, don't interrogate her. Give her space to breathe. And if it's important, she'll bring it to you when she's ready. The third mistake, apologizing for things you didn't do. This is where a lot of good guys go wrong. She's acting distant and you start apologizing for everything. I'm sorry if I did something wrong. I'm sorry if I upset you. I'm sorry for existing, basically. And listen, I get it. You care about her. You want to fix whatever's broken. But here's the problem. When you apologize for things you didn't do, you're training her to see you as the problem, even when you're not. You're taking responsibility for her emotions, her moods, her reactions, and that's not your job. Look, if you actually did something wrong, own it, apologize, and make it right. But if you're just apologizing because she's in a mood, you're setting a dangerous precedent. You're telling her that anytime she's upset, it must be your fault. And she'll start believing that too. This creates a toxic dynamic where you're always walking on eggshells, always trying to manage her emotions. And she loses respect for you because you don't even respect yourself enough to stand your ground when you've done nothing wrong.
Mistake number 4, trying to fix her problems immediately. She mentions something that's bothering her and boom, you're in problem-solving mode. You want to fix it, make it better, be her hero. But here's what you're missing. Sometimes she doesn't want solutions. She wants to be heard. She wants to vent. She wants emotional support, not an action plan.
And when you jump straight into fix-it mode, you're telling her that her feelings are problems to be solved rather than experiences to be understood. This is especially true when her distance is caused by external stress. If she's overwhelmed at work and you start giving her career advice when all she wanted was for you to listen, you're missing the mark completely. The key is to ask her what she needs. Does she want advice or does she just want someone to listen? Most of the time, it's the latter. And when you give her what she actually needs instead of what you think she needs, you become her safe space instead of another source of pressure. Here's where things get really ugly, making it all about you. She's being distant, and you make it about how it affects you. Why aren't you texting me back? You're making me feel insecure. You used to be more affectionate. What happened to us? And just like that, you've made her emotional state about your needs, your insecurities, your feelings. This is selfish, and it pushes her away faster than almost anything else. When a woman is distant, she's dealing with her own stuff, her own emotions, her own struggles. And when you make it about you, you're showing her that you can't handle her having her own emotional life, that everything has to revolve around you. Attractive men understand that women are whole people with their own internal worlds. They don't make her distance about them. They give her space to be human, to have bad days, to process things without making it a relationship crisis. The sixth deadly mistake, giving her ultimatums. This is the nuclear option that destroys everything. She's been distant for a while, and you've had enough. So you lay down the law. Either you start communicating with me, or we're done. Either you figure out what's wrong, or I'm walking away. And congratulations, you just killed any chance of her coming back to you willingly. Ultimatums don't create desire. They create resentment. When you force someone to choose between their emotional process and your relationship, you're not being strong. You're being controlling. And women hate being controlled more than almost anything else. Here's the reality. If you have to threaten to leave to get her attention, you've already lost her. Real attraction can't be forced, and when you try to force it, you destroy whatever was left. The moment you give an ultimatum, you're admitting that you can't handle the uncertainty, that you need guarantees. And women are not attracted to men who need guarantees. They're attracted to men who can handle the unknown. Mistake number 7, analyzing every text and interaction. She sends a short reply and you spend an hour analyzing what it means. She uses a period instead of an exclamation point, and suddenly you're reading into it like it's a coded message. This overthinking is killing you, and it's killing your attractiveness. Women can sense when you're overanalyzing their every move, and it makes them feel like they're under a microscope, like they can't just be human without you reading into every single thing they do. When you're constantly analyzing her behavior, you're not living in the moment. You're living in your head, creating stories about what everything means. And most of the time, you're wrong. You're creating problems that don't exist, seeing rejection where there is none. And the energy you put out when you're in this headspace is anxious and needy. And she feels that energy even through text. The biggest mistake of all, neglecting yourself to focus on her distance. She starts pulling away and you put your entire life on hold to figure out what's wrong with her. You stop hanging out with friends. You stop pursuing your goals. You stop taking care of yourself because you're so consumed with her distance. And here's the irony. The more you neglect yourself to focus on her, the less attractive you become. The version of you that she was initially attracted to, the confident, independent man who had his own life, starts disappearing. And what's left is someone who revolves their entire existence around her emotional state. That's not love, that's obsession. And obsession is the opposite of attractive. When you stop being the man she fell for because you're too busy trying to figure out why she's distant, you're actually creating more distance. You're becoming less of the person she wants to be around. So what should you do instead when she's distant? Here's the game changer. Give her space, but don't disappear completely. Stay consistent with who you are. Don't change your energy. Don't start acting different just because she's acting different. Keep living your life. Keep pursuing your goals. Keep being the man you were before she started pulling away. And here's what happens when you do this. When you maintain your own emotional stability while giving her the space she needs, you become a safe harbor. She starts to see you as the steady, consistent presence in her life. And that's incredibly attractive. Women don't want men who change based on their moods. They want men who remain solid, regardless of external circumstances. Understand that her distance might have nothing to do with you. Maybe she's stressed about work. Maybe she's dealing with family issues. Maybe she's just processing something internal. And by not making it about you, you're showing her that you trust her to handle her own emotions, that you don't need constant reassurance to feel secure in the relationship. And that level of emotional maturity is rare. It's what separates attractive men from needy ones. The truth is, most relationships don't end because of big dramatic events. They end because of small, consistent mistakes. The daily reactions that slowly erode attraction and respect. When she's distant, your reaction is everything. It's a test of your emotional strength, your security, your ability to handle uncertainty. And most guys fail this test because they react from fear instead of confidence. They chase instead of attracting. They pressure instead of allowing. But when you understand what's really happening, when she pulls away, when you know how to respond from a place of strength instead of weakness, everything changes. You stop being the guy who gets anxious when she's quiet and start being the guy she can't wait to come back to. Look, man, relationships go through phases. There are times of closeness and times of distance, and that's normal. That's healthy. The guys who understand this, who can ride the waves without panicking, are the ones who build lasting attraction, the ones who create relationships that stand the test of time. Because here's the final truth. Her distance is often not about you, but your reaction to her distance is always about you. And that reaction determines whether you're someone she wants to be with or someone she wants to get away from. So the next time she's being distant, remember this. Don't chase, don't pressure, don't make it about you. Stay solid, stay consistent, and give her the space to miss you. Because attraction isn't built through desperation, it's built through strength. And when you respond to her distance with confidence instead of fear, you become irresistible. And that, my guy, is when everything changes. Pay attention to how you react, because once you master this, you'll never struggle with her distance again.